to the extent that you're comfortable sharing, when you think about your product portfolio, I assume you have some cash cows, right? Where like, I assume Jira is a very long-standing, popular product, but then you guys are constantly innovating as well. So how do you guys thinking about kind of keeping that balanced portfolio between the rising star and the cash cow, and spending the right money at the right area, again, to the level of confidence sharing?
No, I think, we do have a land and expand strategy. There's some products in our product set, and Jira being one of them, that it makes a lot of sense for people to get started with, for being able to use it for their use cases. Again, when they're using it and they're comfortable with using it, it's easy. And there are certain use cases where it becomes apparent that certain other products could be a good fit. And so I think the general approach has not been, we have all of these products, that's why don't you try all of these products right now? The approach has been, like, let's give the person what they absolutely need. And when the need arises, because our suite of products integrate very well with each other, when the need arises, the other products will be introduced as and when the need arises. And I think it helps in building a lot of trust between the customer and for the company, and I think that goes a large way as well. And so, to that effect, yes, it's a very measured approach of introducing the portfolio of products to the customer, and different teams. We're all about enabling teams to do the best work that they do. Different teams will have different needs of products put together.
Great. So, do you guys have a chief data officer, or is kind of the growth team responsible for the data?
We do not have a chief data officer. You will have like corporate data, and that you have corporate data management teams. You have product. The product growth team will manage some of the product data. We'll manage some of the marketing data. Together the teams work very, very closely. It's not under the umbrella of a chief data officer as such.
So one thing that we see is where people really fail is they bring in a chief data officer, right? And they built a data platform, and then they have this beautiful data lake that everybody now talks about. And then they're like, what's next, right? So one thing we're trying to explain people as we engaging with them around data is really, hey, do it use case driven, right? And I'm always saying, fire your chief data officer, hire a chief growth officer.
All right.
Because it needs to be use case driven, right? And it sounds like that you guys really drive your data strategy based on your growth use cases around that, and drive the technical needs rather than the technology drives some of the use cases. Is that?
I would say so. There are vast differences between what the product use cases and needs are, and their technology stack will reflect that. There are areas where we have to have commonality. There are corporate-wide sort of standards we may follow. We want our data to be accessible at the end of it. We don't want it to be in silos one way or the other. So we want it to be. We want everyone to be able to access that data in a common repository in that regard. But otherwise, we have, like within the marketing growth team, we'll have the entire sort of leeway to be able to build up as we need, to be able to integrate with what we want as we need, to be able to go ahead quickly and derive the insights that we want.